Imagine for a moment that everything you know about the universe, the stars, the galaxies, the very fabric of space and time, is built on an idea that might not be entirely correct. You grew up hearing about the Big Bang, a singular moment when everything began, an explosion that created not only matter but the very essence of existence itself. You've been told this is the ultimate truth, the foundation of cosmology. And yet, here you are, in this quiet space, listening to someone suggest that perhaps the universe didn't start with a bang at all. That perhaps the story you've been told is only part of a much more intricate, nuanced reality. And if you've ever felt small, confused, or overwhelmed by the vastness of life, that feeling isn't just in your head. It's the echo of trying to understand something far larger than yourself, something that has no easy answers. Richard Feynman, the brilliant physicist who spent his life unraveling the complexities of the universe, had a way of looking at things that strips away pretense and demands honesty. He didn't settle for comforting stories. He looked at evidence, at the laws of physics, at the patterns that govern reality, and he asked the questions others avoided. And when it comes to the Big Bang, he raised doubts that make you reconsider the narrative you've held so close. He urged us to think beyond what feels intuitively right, beyond the neat timelines of textbooks, and to confront the uncomfortable possibility. The universe might not have a singular beginning at all. When you first learned about the Big Bang, you probably felt a mixture of awe and security. Everything had a starting point. Everything made sense in a linear fashion. But consider the emotional effect this narrative has on you. There's comfort in believing the universe had a moment of origin, a defined beginning, because it mirrors your own desire for closure, for explanation. You crave the reassurance that chaos is organized, that life has a structure. Yet when Feynman questions this, it destabilizes not only your understanding of physics, but the psychological scaffolding you've built around it. You realize that perhaps, like your own life, the universe doesn't conform to neat beginnings and endings. Feynman examined the cosmic microwave background, the remnants of radiation left over from what we call the Big Bang. Scientists observed it as a faint whisper from the past, evidence that seemed to confirm a beginning. But Feynman, with his piercing curiosity, asked, what if this is only one interpretation among many? What if our assumptions, our desire to see a story, are shaping our conclusions? You see, this mirrors a psychological truth in your own life. Often, you accept narratives about yourself, about your relationships, or about the world that feel comforting but are incomplete. You internalize these stories, shaping your sense of reality, until someone like Feynman, or a moment of personal insight, confronts you with ambiguity. It can feel unsettling, like the floor beneath you has shifted, but it is also an invitation to see more clearly. Consider the mechanics of thought here. When you cling to the Big Bang as the definitive beginning, your mind is performing an emotional act of closure. It's saying, I need to know where I came from, even if I cannot truly grasp it. And yet, the universe may not offer such closure. Feynman's perspective teaches you that embracing uncertainty is not weakness, it is clarity. It allows you to separate what is known from what is assumed, to observe reality with precision and curiosity rather than with attachment or fear. Now, let's think about the implications. If the universe did not start with a single explosive moment, then what did it start with, if anything at all? Some modern theories suggest a more fluid conception of time, a cyclical universe, or even multiple dimensions beyond our perception. For you, this can be a mirror to your own life's uncertainties. Just as you cannot always pinpoint the start of your own emotional patterns, your habits, or your traumas, the universe may resist a singular, definitive origin. You are invited to witness existence as it is, in its expansive, unresolved beauty, rather than as a neatly packaged story designed to comfort your mind. Feynman's approach also exposes the subtle ways humans can manipulate narratives. Science, like life, is susceptible to the seductive pull of simplicity. One clear beginning, one origin story, feels satisfying. It is easily digestible. And yet, if you allow yourself to question this, you realize how often the world feeds you oversimplified versions of complex truths about history, relationships, and even your own psyche. The Big Bang story is a reflection of this psychological pattern, and recognizing this, you gain a measure of emotional liberation. You understand that complexity does not diminish truth, it enriches it. As you absorb this, you may notice a tension within yourself. Part of you wants certainty, and another part yearns to explore what is truly unknown. This tension is normal and it is healthy. Feynman, in his work, embraced this tension fully. He didn't shy away from doubt. He welcomed it as a tool for discovery. And you too can adopt this stance. When confronted with uncertainty, whether in science or in your personal life, you can allow yourself to feel the discomfort while still moving forward, observing, questioning, and growing. This perspective reshapes your understanding not only of the cosmos, but of your own emotional life. If the universe did not have a singular beginning, perhaps your experiences too cannot be reduced to simple cause and effect explanations. Perhaps the moments that define you are layered, interconnected, and impossible to separate neatly. And this is not a reason for despair, but for empowerment. You can release the pressure to have every answer, to justify every feeling, and instead live with curiosity and openness. Imagine for a moment observing the universe as Feynman did, with awe, with meticulous attention, and with an acceptance of uncertainty. You see galaxies not as points on a timeline, but as living, breathing entities, their histories intertwined in ways you cannot fully measure. You recognize that your own story mirrors this cosmic complexity. Your thoughts, your feelings, your decisions, they are not linear. They are not confined to a single cause. They are part of a vast web of influence, stretching back and forward in ways you may never completely understand. And as you sit with this, you begin to understand the psychological liberation in Feynman's approach. By questioning the Big Bang, he encourages you to question the stories that have been fed to you about the universe, about society, about yourself. And in doing so, he hands you the tools to reclaim your mind from oversimplified narratives, to embrace complexity, and to trust your own perception. There is profound empowerment in this act, the courage to doubt, to investigate, and to find your own truth. You may feel a subtle shift now. The initial anxiety of not knowing gradually softens into curiosity. You feel a sense of freedom in recognizing that some questions do not have easy answers, that some truths are more intricate than any story you've been told. This is the space where true insight lives, the space where you can witness reality with both intellect and heart. It is a place of clarity, a place where you can meet uncertainty not as a threat, but as an invitation. And so, as you move forward, consider what Feynman offers: the courage to look deeply, to challenge assumptions, and to embrace uncertainty with grace. Consider how this applies not just to cosmology, but to every corner of your life, the relationships that shape you, the emotions you wrestle with, the stories you tell yourself. By examining the foundations of what you believe, you give yourself permission to grow, to see more clearly, and to act with authenticity. You are not alone in this process. Many feel the discomfort of questioning long-held beliefs. Many wrestle with the tension between the desire for certainty and the recognition of complexity. By choosing to explore these questions, you are stepping into a lineage of thinkers like Feynman, who did not accept convenient answers, but sought the deeper truth with all its mystery and wonder. If you find value in this journey, consider engaging with this channel further. Share your reflections in the comments, subscribe to join a community of thinkers who dare to question, and allow yourself the time and space to revisit these ideas, to sit with them, and to let them transform the way you understand yourself and the world around you. In the end, the universe may not have started with a bang. It may not have a single point of origin. And yet, in embracing this uncertainty, you gain something far more profound: clarity of mind, trust in your own perception, and a resilient sense of self that does not rely on simplified narratives. You are invited to live fully in the vast, intricate reality of existence, to marvel at its complexity, and to honor your own journey through it. And in that, you are not just witnessing the universe, you are participating in it with courage, insight, and grace.